Nillumbik Shire Council acknowledges the Wurrundjeri people who are the traditional custodians of this land. We'd also like to pay respect to the elders both past and present and extend that respect to other Indigenous Australians present or watching remotely. Good morning everyone and welcome to the Eltham Community and Reception Centre. I'm the Nillumbik Mayor, Peter Perkins. Thank you all for joining us here today and a special welcome for those who are joining us virtually. I offer a very warm welcome to our members of Parliament, councillors and council staff here with us today. I also welcome those who will be taking Australian citizenship, along with our Australia Day Award recipients, their families and friends. We also have several other community leaders present, and they represent various volunteer community groups who provide significant contributions towards making our Shire a truly great place to live. Welcome one and all. European settlement and its impact on Indigenous culture and the way of life deeply impacted our nation. It is a source of pain for many, and all of us should take the time to reflect and lament this history. To help heal the wounds of the past, we must express our sorrow and work together toward a better future together. Today, on Australia Day in Nilumbik, we raise the Aboriginal flag and the Australian flag together. We heal together as we grow together. Today and every day, we celebrate the contribution of Indigenous Australians to our Australian way of life. Council has been working with Wurrundjeri elders to prepare this event, and we are grateful for their assistance. Although they are not able to be with us here in person, we will hear a message from Wurrundjeri elder, Auntie Julian Axford, and that will happen later in the program. I'd like to thank members of the Nilumbik Reconciliation Group, many of whom are with us today, for their ongoing efforts towards reconciliation in Nilumbik. Australia Day is an opportunity for all of us to reflect, show respect and celebrate. With the support of a grant from the Australia Day Council, we deliver this event whilst keeping in mind this year's theme, and that is reflect, respect, celebrate. We're all part of the story. With selflessness and determination, you have showed a common goal, which is to support the community and create a wonderful place to live, work and visit. For the first time, this event is live streamed to allow everyone across the Shire to join in the celebrations from wherever they are.
I'm honoured to speak to you today to add thought to what we will hear from Wurrundjeri Woiwurrung elder Auntie Julian Axford by video during the ceremony. Aboriginal Australians gathered together on this day to mourn their sad and shocking history that they carry with them through generations. That's very different from the generations of challenge and triumph that we settler Australians carry and celebrate today. But Aboriginal Australians also celebrate their survival and thriving in the face of this history. They celebrate the education of their children, the growing recognition of their place as First Nations, the increasing numbers of Aboriginal doctors, teachers, nurses, community leaders, the consultation with Aboriginal land care teams, the new community-led Closing the Gap funding arrangements, and much more. When Captain Phillip raised the Union Jack at Sydney Cove in 1788, Aboriginal people were there but overlooked, not recognised, not seen as the people who belonged to that land, who counted. It's 233 years since that day of takeover, of invasion, of imperial superiority. The painful history of our First Nations people is now openly with us. Many of us recognise their sovereignty, denied at present in our Constitution. Many of us have listened to remarkable Aboriginal leaders speaking for the rights of their people. We are reaching out, hearing what is said, walking with them, supporting action that brings treaty and truth to the foundations of our nation. COVID-19 has brought crisis and disruption to us, shaking our established ways of living, and thinking about our lives and structures. Where to post-COVID is a question that's attracting a great deal of thought and speculation, for me too. We can try to go back to recover what we had, but does that mean we have to go back to a refusal to consider the Uluru Statement as a profound suggestion from First Nations people themselves? Advice of a way to reach a reconciliation that acknowledges sovereignty, speaks the truth of Aboriginal history and creates a place for their voice to Parliament. Can we go forward to a true recognition of their place and importance in the nation of Australia? An acknowledgement of the need for reparation, for significant healing to occur? Can we go forward embracing First Nations with respect and gratitude for their survival against incredible odds, for their courage and strength in standing for their community and rights, for their ancient living culture, for their wisdom which can teach us about care of country, about ways of living in the community, about being with the spirit of the land. We raise two flags together today, Australian and Aboriginal. We stand together. We will go forward together. I now ask Councillor Peter Perkins, Mayor, and Councillor Natalie Duffy to come forward for the raising of the flags. Councillor Perkins will raise the Australian flag. Councillor Duffy will raise the Aboriginal flag. Councillor Duffy has a strong commitment to working with the Wurrundjeri people towards reconciliation. She raises the Australian flag with honour and respect, with their blessing, bringing to this action our acknowledgement of their place in the life of this Shire.
Thanks, Jan, for your speech. That concludes the flag raising and reflection part of the ceremony today. Could I please ask you to make your way inside to the main hall and take your seat? And to our virtual viewers, we invite you to enjoy this multicultural, intergeneration storytelling video. During the COVID-19 restrictions, Nillumbik Shire Council partnered with Humankind Enterprises to run a unique intergenerational digital storytelling program. The project connected older and younger residents of Nilumbik over 6 weeks. The older residents were interviewed by the young people and their stories were recorded over Zoom. This is a highlight of the video of some of their stories. Please enjoy it. Thank you.
There we go. I think that's working. So how was your week?
Oh, not bad.
I'll just go and get my cup of tea, which I've left somewhere.
What's new?
What's new? I'll tell you my life story if you like.
Bring it on.
It's a long time ago since I was a little kid, so I don't know what my memory's like.
Compulsory exposure to elderly wisdom.
My childhood is pretty exciting one.
I was born in a village. I hope you can see it.
Avila, Spain.
都是冠军。
你是赢了吗？
每次都是冠军第一名 ，first rank。
I'd go and hop on the milk cart and go round the rest of the round with the milkman.
They came to tell us that there had been an explosion at the Markham Colliery.
那个时候我们比较困难了，连吃饭都是有问题。
Are there things you wished your younger self knew that you know now?
Oh yeah. It's only as I've got older that I've got more outgoing and more. I don't care if my bum's big anymore. They're in. You know what I mean?
It is in some ways a sad upbringing, but it's one that I think has prepared me for the rest of my life.
Well, my first love was my last love.
We were married in 1959. I said it wouldn't last, and we're still together.
Graham and I have always been able to talk to each other. We never run out of things to say. Or I don't, more to the point.
If you got the right girl, the best thing you'll ever do in your life is to be married.
We've just plodded along like all married people, old married people. I just go along with life. I don't worry about this, that and the other. I just keep going. The following March, which was my 21st, and we got engaged. And we had a happy life ever after.
It never bothers me to get older. Never.
I think because I've got a strong faith, that sort of nourishes me.
Wicklam got in. It was free university. So like every other adult woman I know, we all went back to university to complete our degrees.
I didn't even think of going back to work after I'd had the baby. Yeah. You just stayed home and looked after them.
I married the first one long-term relationship that I had. That was a mistake, but anyway, never mind.
I was about 7 when I ran across that road and this truck was coming along. But I could see from my position where I was sort of huddled on the road that it would go over me if I stayed there, so I stayed there.
My father went off to war. They all cheerfully went off saying, oh, it'll all be over by Christmas, you know.
Yeah.
He came back 5 years later.
Well, I adored my big brother. My poor mum, at the end of the war, she thought he'd be coming home. 2 men in uniform came to tell her that he'd been dead for 3 years. It was just one of those things that we all just had to cope with, you know. It was, your whole life can't go by without having some sadness.
I retired one Christmas and the next February I had a stroke. Whatever I do it in a big way. Well, I got a stroke in a big way too.
I do believe in life, I believe a lot of things, but I do believe that one just has to keep going. I don't feel like getting up this morning, but I will because I'm hungry. But you've got to get up and just do these things, you know.
I've got to be doing something. I can't sit and do nothing.
If you believe in something, something will become of it.
Do what you're interested in. Don't let someone else tell you that you should be doing this or you should be doing that.
Be honest within yourself. And you've got everything in life.
I've really enjoyed the last 6 weeks, Bill, and I'm really looking forward to meeting you in person as well.
Yes, so I'm looking forward to that myself already.
I mean, I've just enjoyed it because...
You probably don't have an older friend. I'm your friend now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, we are. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Candy. Take care.
The order of proceedings for today is outlined in the program on your seat. To enable us to keep to our schedule, may I ask that posed photographs are taken after the conclusion of official proceedings. I'd like to introduce our members of Parliament and local councillors here today. And from left to right behind me, we've got our state-elected members of Parliament, and that's Danielle Green, MP, State Member for Yan Yan. Welcome, Danielle. We've got Vicky Ward, MP, State Member for Eltham. Welcome, Vicky. Our local councillors, we have Deputy Mayor Councillor Francis Eyre, Swipers Gully Ward. Welcome, Francis. We've got Councillor Richard Stockman behind me, Blue Lake Ward. Councillor Karen Egan, Bunjil Ward. Councillor Natalie Duffy, Edendale Ward. Councillor Ben Ramcharan, Sugarloaf Ward. And finally, Councillor Jeff Payne, Wingrove Ward. The Honourable Bruce Atkinson is an apology for this event. Thank you, Members of Parliament and our local councillors. As mentioned earlier, today's theme is Reflect, Respect, Celebrate. We're all part of the story. And to further reflect on the day, we will now hear from Wurrundjeri Elder, Auntie Julian Axford.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Auntie Julianne, and I'm an elder of the Wurrundjeri people. I'd like to acknowledge and pay my respects to my elders, past, present, future elders, and if there happens to be any elders here today. I would also like to acknowledge Mayor Peter Perkins, Deputy Mayor Councillor Francis Eyre, all councillors and new Australian citizens, all distinguished guests and family and friends. The Wurrundjeri tribe consists of 3 families, the Nevins, the Terricks and the Wundens, and I am part of the Nevin family. The 3 families all descend from one woman called Annie Barat, which makes us one big family. Annie Barat is the younger sister of William Barrick, a pioneer for Aboriginal people in the 19th century, fighting for equality and land rights. I'm here today to welcome you all to the land of my ancestors. We call the land within our tribal boundaries our country. Australia Day is a day of mourning for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. It is a day when the first fleet arrived to Australia. The British colonists of Australia in 1788 began in New South Wales. Further European settlement that followed throughout Australia, which brought many diseases such as smallpox, chickenpox, influenza and measles. These diseases and others, along with conflicts, wiped out almost 50% of the Aboriginal population. Following the rapid colonial expansion and the massive decline of the Indigenous population in the colony of Victoria, the government set up a central board for the protection of Aboriginals in 1860. The board oversaw the establishment of the 4 major church mission stations. My ancestors were sent to Corrindale, Wisnesville, which opened in 1863 to 1924. Corrindale Station ran successfully for many years as Aboriginal enterprise, selling wheat, hops, craft to the Melbourne markets. And the workers were not paid but supplied enough food for 4 weeks, but actually only received enough for 3. Aboriginal children and non-full Aboriginal people under 35 were removed from their families and placed into white families to help with assimilation. The mission was so successful that the surrounding farmers petitioned to have it closed down due to the rise of land value. Some of the land was leased in 1920 to medical researchers to do work with Australian fauna, which was the catalyst for what is today the Hillsville Sanctuary. Aboriginal people during the First World War were denied to enlist to fight for their country due to being Aboriginals. Most enlisted as African Americans, Maoris or Indians. And when they returned, they were forced off their land and the land was given to returning soldiers that they'd fought with. All Indigenous Australians were given the right to vote in the Commonwealth elections in Australia by the Menzies government in 1962. The first election that they voted in was in 1963, and it wasn't until 1911, the referendum, that Indigenous people were added to the census and allowed to be counted as Australian citizens. So today, as you are being welcomed as a new citizen of Australia, can you take the time to reflect on what must be like for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people who in some parts of their life have not felt welcome, but more as an intruder in their own country? I hope you all have a good day today, and on behalf of my elders, I would like to say, Wurrundjeri Wurrundjeri Bullik Yemen Kundi Beek. Welcome to the land of the Wurrundjeri people. Thank you.
Thank you, Auntie Julianne, for that message. In Nilumbik, we value respect, cohesion, and the welcoming of people from all nations. This beautiful part of the world deserves to be shared, and we are so very proud to do so. With that in mind, I'd now like to introduce Rima Touma, who we're privileged to have with us here today as our guest speaker. Rima, will you please make your way forward to the stage? I was going to say, it sounds a bit like Sound of Music. Rima, will you please make your way forward to the stage? Rima Touma arrived in Australia at the end of 2016 as part of a special humanitarian intake. Rima holds several certificates of appreciation from several European and Arab countries for her skills and success at work. She has also volunteered assisting refugees in Damascus and is a volunteer interpreter and translator for other Arabic speakers at Catholic Care. In 2020, she won the Richard Stone Award for her volunteer work. Rima hopes to become an Australian citizen and aspires to train as a counsellor to assist others experiencing trauma. We are very pleased Rima is able to join us here today to share her story. So without further ado, please welcome Rima Touma.
I pay my respects to the Wurrundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, the traditional owners of the land that is now my home, and to their elders past, present, and emerging. I understand that today is the anniversary of the loss of that land, and that makes many First Nations people feel sad. I felt very sad when I arrived to this country 4 years ago. I cried all day, because I was alone, scared and confused. The trip here was long, and this was a new world for me. I didn't feel safe yet, and how could I integrate when I couldn't speak English? In my old life, I had a good job. I was respected for my work, and I earned the good money, which enabled me to do many things. Here, I had to start from less than zero, and I'm not young, so I felt I didn't have time to study and get certificates in a new field, as well as learning English. It made me sad that some people at the airport, at Centrelink, were rude to me. They seemed to look down on me as just a refugee, rather than a person like them with hopes and dreams. I applied for many jobs, but no one wanted me. One person refused to interview me as soon as they saw me. I had to learn to change my expectations. Whilst 2020 was a terrible year for many people, for me, there were benefits. Because of the curfew, I had to stay at home. So I read the book on meditation, and I had the time to practice it. I had the time to think. I was also able to help other Arabic-speaking residents in Eltham. Usually, their family members, quite often their children, come and help them with things like Centrelink, medical appointments, or any problems they might have. During lockdown, that wasn't possible. So I stepped in to help, because by then, I had learned to speak English. It turned out to be a great job. It helped me understand other people better, how they think, how they feel. For me, that's a big achievement. Working as a volunteer with Catholic Care helped me to understand what I can do here. Because I'm from Syria, I saw and felt the suffering that other people had from the situation there, and I came to realize I could help. Winning Catholic Care's Richard Stone Award meant a lot to me. At last, I'd gained respect in my new country. I started to feel more comfortable, more settled, and also felt safer. Now I feel completely different. I like this country, especially Eltham. I like it that people smile a lot. And now that I'm able to listen and help others solve their problems, My own mental health is better. I'm full of optimism and hope. The image of my future has been blurry, but now it's become clearer. I've decided to study for a diploma in community services, and I hope to train as a counselor. But the most important thing for me is that I reconciled with myself. In my first 2 years here, I didn't feel like I belonged. I felt like I'd come from another planet. And I worried about my people back in Syria. My feelings were torn between my homeland and my new country. But I realized I couldn't live with that chaos. So I thought about it, and last year, I arrived at the feeling that I'm a citizen of the world, not just one country. I made that decision. Like many people who come here in traumatic circumstances, I was often conflicted about whether to stay or go back. But I've realized that in deciding to stay, it doesn't mean that I have to forget my family and my homeland. But it does mean learning to speak the same languages as people here. It means finding something to do makes me feel that I belonged in this country. It means learning more about the people, particularly the First People of this land. I share with the First Nations people the same feeling about land. They are from the oldest continuous culture in the world. I have come from the oldest capital in the world. The circumstances are different, but I too lost my homeland. And so I can understand the pain they feel. It's hard for me to understand why we celebrate the anniversary of the invasion of this country. But what I do understand is that the way through the pain of loss is to rebuild it and strengthening customs and culture. Syria has been destroyed approximately every 200 years. But each time happened, people stayed on and rebuild the culture. Hopefully they will do so again. I think it's very important that everyone in Australia learns about First Nations culture so that we can help to rebuild it. We should also celebrate the many different cultures that make up modern Australia, but pay the special respect to the oldest culture. I congratulate those of you who are receiving your Australian citizenship today. It's very important that you respect Australian values. But many of you have brought new cultural influences, which can enrich life for the rest of us. I having applied for citizenship and look forward to proudly receiving it. I have great respect for the rules and the people of this country. To me, respect means treating the other people first and foremost like fellow human beings. At the same time, I appreciate that their feelings and their situation may be different to mine. I don't expect them to be exactly like me. Respect also means understanding that there are people in our community who have suffered trauma for many different reasons, and they need time, a safe place to live, and enough money to live, not just exist, while they rebuild their lives. The increase to New Start and the provision of safe place to live for homeless people made an enormous difference to many people last year, including me. It's unfortunate that isn't continuing. However, I appreciate it when other organizations and individual people step up to help. In a recent media release, Mayor Peter Perkins was quoted as saying, "The reaffirmation of the Nilumbik community willingness to help and support those doing it tough, as well as its capacity for humanity and compassion, has been one of the positives to emerge from the challenges of the past year. To the people receiving awards today for their contribution to this community, I say thank you so much. I say this not just of politeness. Thank you is an abbreviation for the sense of appreciation I feel for what you do. I hope one day to join you, to be able to offer something back to the broader community, not just the Arabic-speaking people I currently assist. What COVID has taught me is that we are all in this together, and I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rima. Where would we be without people like you in our community? Today is a very special day as we announce our 2021 Community Group, Young, Senior, Volunteer and Citizen of the Year. I'd like to acknowledge the 2020 Australia Day Award recipients and all the work they do in the community. Carol Jenkinson, Tony Barbetta, Neil Marshall and Nillumbik Youth Productions. Whilst this award ceremony recognises the work of particular individuals and community groups who have made outstanding contributions to the Nillumbik community, I'd also like to take the time to commend the thousands of other residents for the contributions that they have made. We are thankful to everyone who took the time to submit a nomination and to everyone who was nominated. We were very impressed with the quality of nominations we received. I'm sure you'll agree our award recipients exemplify everything we were looking for. I'd like to mention those individuals and community groups nominated for the 2021 awards and give thanks to all the great work they do in our community. In no particular order, the individuals were Mark Goldspink, Terry and Sheila Beaton, Jan Aitken, Catherine Freiberg, Viv Doran, Joshua Allen, Michael Ramsey, Peter Talbot, Finn Darcy, Vicky Fitzgerald, Nola Lawson, John Rayleigh, and community groups, Help 3095 and Surrounds, Rotary Club of Diamond Creek and the 2nd Eltham Sea Scouts. Please help me in applauding all worthy nominees for their outstanding achievements. Now we move on to the award presentations. Our first award celebrates a community group or organisation that has set an example in giving back to our community. It reflects the hard work, long hours and selfless dedication volunteers from this organisation put in to unify and strengthen our community. Can I now ask Councillor Jeff Payne to come forward to make the announcement for Nillumbik's 2021 Community Group of the Year and Deputy Mayor Francis Eyre to present flowers to the award recipients.
Hello everyone, thank you very much. It's a great honour to be here. This is my first Australia Day and Citizenship ceremony and I'm honoured to be part of it. So I'm pleased to announce that the 2021 Nillumbik Community Group of the Year is the Rotary Club of Diamond Creek. Will you join me in congratulating them? And I'd like the club's president, Stephanie Hutt, to please come forward and join me on the stage while I read out the nomination notes. So, nominated for demonstrating passion, resilience and an inclusive approach to its program, the Rotary Club of Diamond Creek is a deserving recipient of the Community Group of the Year Award. This club continued with projects and initiatives throughout 2020, despite the challenges of COVID-19. The Rotary Club started the Second Bite project, in which surplus food is collected and distributed to those needing support. And this program has assisted many in the community at a time when they've been struggling financially. This empathetic approach allowed recipients to maintain their dignity and self-respect, as the proof of need is not required to get support. Making a significant contribution to the development of projects across the Shire, the Rotary Club of Diamond Creeks worked collaboratively with many other community groups, including In the Park Productions, the Araluen Centre, Diamond Valley College, Diamond Creek Uniting Church, the combined churches of Diamond Creek, Plenty CFA, Diamond Creek Football Club, Hurstbridge Girls Football Club and Hurstbridge RSL. The club also supports the arts and education, annually providing funding for school leadership programs for 13 schools in its catchment area. The Rotary Club of Diamond Creek is deserving of this award as they truly embody the Rotary International motto of service above self. So we congratulate the Rotary Club of Diamond Creek, our Community Group of the Year. And Stephanie, would you like to step up and make a speech?
Thank you. I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Wurrundjeri people, and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I am extremely honoured to accept this award on behalf of the Rotary Club of Diamond Creek. We are a small club and are extremely proud of the work that we do in our community. This includes our annual town fair, our involvement in Second Bite, the Community Tram Cafe, as well as many other smaller projects that we have completed and done in the last year. We have managed, despite the year that was 2020, to retain our engagement in our community. We would like to also thank Council for their continued support in all that we do, and our club looks forward to continued involvement in 2021. Apologies. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue and Councillor Payne. Council believes young people are active and valued members of our community. We are privileged to have young people in our Shire who are leaders, inspiring others to get involved in their local community. Can I now ask Councillor Ben Ramcharan to please come forward to announce the Young Citizen of the Year.
Thank you, Councillor Perkins. I'm pleased to announce that the 2021 Nillumbik Young Citizen of the Year is Finn DSC. Congratulations, Finn. I'd like to invite you forward to receive your award. Now, I've been very impressed to hear about what Finn's achieved in this last year. While we were all struggling to come to terms with COVID, Finn was completing Year 12 and balancing his studies with a very impressive number of other commitments. Finn is an active member of the Eltham CFA and has been actively fighting fires in the local area since 2019, including attending the Plenty Gorge fires in January last year. He is also an admin on the local Eltham Facebook page, which has over 10,000 members, and is an active member of the Nilumbik Unplugged Committee, where he's helped to create online events and positive experiences for young people during what has been a very hard year. During Year 12, Finn was arts team leader at Eltham High School, and during Year 11, he was co-leader of the school's environment team. As a former environment team leader myself, it is a true honour to be here presenting Finn as the recipient of the Nillumbik Young Citizen of the Year Award. So congratulations, Finn. Thank you for your incredible generosity to your community.
Thank you, Finn and Councillor Ramcharan. As our population ages, we want to acknowledge and thank our senior citizens, and they have given and continue to give such significant insight and service to our community. Their wonderful volunteering efforts and community participation make them truly valued members of our Shire. I'd now like to ask Councillor Natalie Duffy to please come forward to announce the Senior Citizen of the Year.
Thanks, Councillor Perkins. It's with great pride that I'm pleased to announce that the 2021 Nillumbik Senior Citizen of the Year is Jan Aitken. Congratulations, Jan, and can you please come forward to receive your award? Jan unassumingly leads the reconciliation movement in our Shire and works together with Wurrundjeri elders, community and government to advance equality for First Nations people. For more than 20 years, Jan has been a leader in the Nillumbik Reconciliation Group and for the past 13 years has been NRG's president. Jan encourages people to celebrate Indigenous culture and to consider the effects that our colonial history has had on the Wurrundjeri Wurrung traditional owners of this land and on all First Nations people across Australia. Jan's gentle ways inspire those around her and encourage us all to learn more by listening respectfully to Indigenous voices. Jan inspires people to think and to act. She invites people young and old to walk the path towards reconciliation and works with the community to program education events and to maintain places of acknowledgement like the Gower Trail at Watson's Creek and the Mural Grasslands at Kangaroo Ground. In addition to her work with NRG, for the past 16 years, Jan has been helping vulnerable youth through her involvement in CAVE, Community and Volunteers of Eltham, a group which provides emergency relief for high school students in Nillumbik and Banyul. Jan has been president of CAVE for 5 years now. I have had the privilege of working with Jan through the Nillumbik Reconciliation Group and extend my personal thanks for the example she sets and the energy she brings to our community. It's easy to forget that Jan is in her 80s. Jan, I'd just like to invite you to come forward to say a few words.
Thank you, Natalie. I want to thank the Shire for their honouring volunteers in the way they do with these awards. We are very fortunate to have a generous and acknowledging Shire. We have a very strong partnership with the Reconciliation Group and the Shire, and we work together on major events, which I hope we're able to continue to do in the future and that we may see some of you at them. We try to run these so that Aboriginal voices can be brought to Nilumbik. And I want to acknowledge my CAVE colleagues too. We're nearly all seniors. Not quite. We still welcome younger people on our committee, but they bring great dedication and to being helpful and giving assistance where it's needed. I realise that I'm here as the Senior Citizen of the Year, and I actually stand with thousands of people who are also seniors and who do enormous amount of community work. So thank you all for the award, and I really thank my colleagues for nominating me and showing their confidence in me as their president, and I honour them for their dedication and commitment to the work that they all do.
Thank you, Jan and Councillor Duffy. The Nillumbik community could not function without the many thousands of volunteers we have. They are the social fabric of our community. Volunteering can take many forms, and in Nilumbik we're lucky to have extremely dedicated and passionate volunteers who really help to get things done. Our volunteering rates in Nilumbik are exceptionally high, something we're appreciative of and is a true reflection of the community spirit that thrives in our Shire. Can I ask Deputy Mayor Councillor Francis Egan to please come forward to announce the Volunteer of the Year.
Thank you, Peter. Firstly, I just want to correct my name. It's actually Councillor Francis Eyre. I'm really honoured to be here today, so thank you. I'm pleased to announce that the 2021 Nillumbik Volunteer of the Year is Peter Talbot. Congratulations, Peter. Please come forward to receive your award. Peter is a full-time volunteer in Nillumbik and has over 21 years of volunteering experience within our community. For the past 20 years, Peter has been an active member of CAVE, Community and Volunteers of Eltham. He's been a school liaison officer for Eltham High School for 15 years. He's the current president of the Eltham Lions Club, of which he has been for the past 7 years. Peter is a thoughtful and devoted member of the Nilumbik community. Peter has certainly overcome many barriers and difficulties from a young age, and this shows how determined he is. Peter's sense of commitment and his kindness has flowed with him in many spheres he is dedicated to. His outlook on life is truly amazing. Peter, we are grateful for all you put in. Peter raised $14,000 for the Lions Club before COVID-19. In addition to his other roles, he completed a technical trainer's course to assist with running a new project called Seniors Play Day. The project was to help older people use Zoom and other virtual programs during lockdown. It enabled participants to stay in contact and to support each other with their welfare needs. And we all know firsthand how important a program like this is, given the last year we've had. Peter, thank you for all you do for our community. I'm sure you have inspired and supported more people than you know, including myself. Congratulations, Peter, and would you like to come forward to say some words? Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not used to public speaking like this, so please bear with me. I'd like to thank my mum and dad for being exemplary examples when we were young about how important it is to be part of the community. They inspired all our family to get involved. I'd like to thank our family for their support of me over the years. It's been amazing. My extended family as well, and friends. They've all helped me. Otherwise, I would never have got anywhere near this. I'd like to thank the old residents of Eltham and particularly research. When I was a kid, I had a lot of problems, and they all kept an eye on me and enabled me to have a relatively normal childhood. And quite literally, I would not have survived my childhood without them, and I thank them especially. I'd like to thank the past members of the Eltham Lions Club for embracing me and also supporting me over the years, and the present members of the Eltham Lions Club who obviously make me look really good. I'd also like to thank the Committee of CAVE. I went to a public meeting as a Lions representative about 20 years ago when they were changing their direction, and I ended up on the board with them, and I've learnt so much. And CAVE has delivered probably well over $200,000 worth of support to kids in the area over the last 20 years, which is quite amazing for a board of 8 or 10 individuals. I'd like to thank the Eltham Council for this amazing award. I am truly speechless, although you wouldn't believe it. And I also would like to thank the council for their support this year in the midst of COVID. The council workers have done an amazing job, not just to keep the community together, but they've also instigated new programs. Their youth, seniors and community engagement people have done a brilliant job of bringing people together in the midst of isolation, and they should all be well supported and thanked. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Peter, and thank you also, Councillor Francis Eyre, the Deputy Mayor as opposed to Councillor Francis Egan, who doesn't exist. When I turned around, had a few strange looks, but I did call out the wrong name. Sorry about that, Francis. Councillor Francis Eyre. And now on to the final award, the highest honour Nillumbik citizen, the highest honour Nillumbik Shire Council can award to a citizen. The Citizen of the Year is awarded to the nominee who receives the highest overall score from our judging panel across all categories, including senior citizen, young citizen and volunteer categories. I'm extremely pleased to announce that 2021 Nillumbik Citizen of the Year is Josh Allen. Congratulations, Josh. Please come forward to receive your award. As a long-standing member and volunteer firefighter of the Country Fire Authority, Josh is also a member of the Rotary Club of Diamond Creek. And of course, his collaborations with other groups, including Nillumbik Men's Shed, Lions Club, Uniting Church, Diamond Creek Traders Association, and the Nillumbik Tourism Association. Josh has no doubt been a valuable asset to the CFA and Nilumbik, helping out in countless emergency situations, including events we'll all remember. The 2011 Christmas Day flash flooding events and the 2009 Black Saturday fires. If that wasn't enough, Josh established the Second Bite at Diamond Creek project at the local Uniting Church to help divert good food from going to landfill. Instead, they make it accessible to those in the community who need food relief assistance. Josh was a force of nature in getting the W-Class tram into the Diamond Creek Regional Play Space as a cafe. It's run by Araluen and Rotary, and I urge you to visit it if you haven't already. It's a very impressive and a really huge success. We're now pleased and proud to acknowledge Josh's exceptional contributions here today as our Citizen of the Year. You are an inspiration, Josh. We cannot thank you enough for the roles you've played over the past decade. Congratulations, Josh. We'll now hear from Josh.
Wow, never in my wildest dreams did I ever think I would stand up here to receive the Nillumbik Citizen of the Year award. Firstly, and importantly, I wish to acknowledge the First Nation people, the traditional custodians of the land on which I work and live, and recognise their continuing connection to the land, water and community, and of a sovereignty that was never ceded. I pay respect to elders past, present and emerging. Can I just say, I'm honoured to stand here and receive this award today. It is also hard to stand here today and accept this individual honour. As over the last couple of years, I've had some absolutely amazing people that have been willing to support me and some of my crazy ideas. To stand here and thank all of these people would mean I would be standing before you for the next few hours, so I won't do that. But to those out there, you know who you are, and I am indebted to you, so thank you. To our Mayor, Peter Perkins, thank you so much for being so supportive and such a strong advocate for not only Diamond Creek, but also myself. Some of the recent projects simply would not happen without the support of Council. To think back knowing I first met you about 15 years ago as a teen, wanting to join the Diamond Creek Fire Brigade, to where we are now, the pleasure of knowing you is all mine. To Nick Brown, sitting down here, I didn't know if you were here, but you are, so thanks for coming. You really took me back a couple of months ago. Nick wrote to me on Facebook asking if he could nominate me for these awards today. The reason why I was taken back was I didn't actually know Nick. I had seen comments on Facebook and put the name to the face, but we had never actually met each other. Nick, on meeting and to hear your thoughts on what has recently been created and the fact that you wanted to nominate me and put in a fair bit of work contacting people I know means a lot to me, and I feel humbled. Thank you very much. To my partner Megan, my sons Jason and Rory, I couldn't have done this without you. The support and guidance you have given me over the last few years has been incredible. I still can't get past my eldest son Jace throwing up whilst having a meeting with Nillumbik CEO Carl Cowie, Peter Perkins and others. A highly embarrassing moment, but it worked. And again, to every one of the people who have supported me, whether in my time as a member of the Diamond Creek Fire Brigade, setting up or donating to the tram project, or the murals, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I have met some truly incredible and generous people and have gone on to make some really great friendships. I wish to share a quote from a retired Navy SEAL Admiral William McRaven and his viral UT commencement speech, which has inspired me from times. You can't change the world alone. You will need help, and to truly get from your starting point to your destination takes friends, colleagues, the goodwill of strangers, and a strong coxswain to guide them. If you wish to change the world, find someone that will help you paddle. What I'm trying to say is if you want to do something, you can make it happen. Use whatever works for you as your motivational tool. Whether it be at work, within a community group, a sporting group, a personal goal, give it a go, try your hardest, align yourself with good supportive people, and you never know what you'll actually end up achieving. Lastly, to Nillumbik Shire Council, the councillors, and all of the officers that have set today's event up. Thank you. These events simply wouldn't happen without you.
Thanks, Josh. That concludes the presentation of our 2021 Australia Day Awards. Congratulations to each of the worthy recipients. I'd like to invite Councillor Richard Stockman to come forward to introduce our next performance on stage.
Thank you very much, Mayor. I'd now like to welcome to the stage our cultural performers African Beat. The group brings joy to life through African music. Led today by Apia from Ghana, these authentic African entertainers will transport you to the tribal villages of Africa with a range of African instruments, singing and dancing.
guys doing? I love the way you clap, but it seems like you guys feel a little bit cold. Are you cold? Someone say yes, someone said no. All right, let's have a little bit party here. Little bit party. This one will feel it warm. Clap your hands. Clap. It's for free. We don't charge you. Come on. Clap your hands. We don't charge you. Now, once you are clapping, I want to see you move your body on the chair. Come on. Let me see everybody move your body like this. Come on, let's go. Move your body. It's for free. Heba. Now, we're going to go like that. And we go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, I can't hear the clapping. The clapping is maybe slow. Louder, 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 louder. Hey, come on. Hey, come on. Now, once you are clapping, I think the chair, guys, come down a little bit. The chair is tired. You have sit on the chair too long. Now, everybody feel free and stand up. I don't charge you. Feel free, stand up. It's for free. It's for free. Stand up, stand up. It's for free. We don't charge. No tax, no invoice. Free. Clap your hands. Clap. Hey, come on. Everybody. Move your body. Move your body. Move your body. Let me see you move your body. Come on. Hey. Come on. Clap your hands. Now we're going to try this together. Now we go. 1, 2. Clap, clap, clap. Come on. 1, 2. Ah. Let's go. 1 and 2. Ah. Okay, you know. 1, 2. All right, now. Everybody, your own dancing. Do your own dancing. I think our time is finished. We're going to play something for you. Pick one. Do your own dancing. I love this woman. She's ready. Man, look at that. Oh, yeah. Everybody, let's go. Come on. Everybody, go crazy. Move your body. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, yeah.
Thanks so much, Africa Beat. That was fantastic. I now invite you to stand again. My speech notes say I now invite you to remain standing, but if you want to stand, please stand and join in the singing of our national anthem. The words of the songs can be found in the program. If you need them, please do join in. I haven't got a great voice, but I'll try to do so as well. I'm sure Bobby won't mind. And I'd like to welcome back Bobby Fox.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young, one and free. We've golden soil and wealth for toil. Our home is girt by sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty rich and rare. In history's page let every stage advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair. Beneath our radiant southern cross, we'll toil with hearts and hands to make this commonwealth of ours renowned of all the lands. To those who've come across the seas, we've boundless plains to share. With courage let us all combine to advance Australia fair. In joyful strains then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Thank you so much, everybody. Happy Australia Day to you all and everyone at home. God bless.
Thanks so much, Bobby, for that fabulous performance. I'd like to thank you for your attendance. I'd certainly just additionally like to acknowledge Corinne and the council staff team. They were the people standing at the back of the room. It's been an enormous effort to pull all this together, particularly when we considered the COVID restrictions that we've had to deal with. They've done a fantastic job. If we could just perhaps look for some applause for the council staff. Quite often with council, it's the councillors that often get a lot of the credit, but it really is undue some of the time at least, and a lot of the time, because the arms and legs of the organisation, the people who actually do the work to support the community the most are the staff. So they've done a fantastic job and really appreciate that. The breakfast this morning, or the brunch, is put on by Nillumbik Cellars, Albert at Nillumbik Cellars. So that's another great local business with three generations of new Australians that have probably been here about 70 years, but they're great local contributors too. So well done to Nillumbik Cellars, and thanks for your support as always. And thank you all for coming along this morning.